Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well on this Friday. It's Friday, October 18, 2024. No, we're not missing a day here. It's Friday. And the weather is quite nice today. It was cold overnight. This beautiful little hand-sketched kitty was created for me by Vicky Moore, Two Frogs Farm on eBay. But I hope you enjoy it. And I wanted to know a little bit more about how paid informants, like your neighbors, the stalkers, how they lead a double life. At night, they're gang stalkers, they're harassing people, they're driving out on the county road at midnight, littering your property. And how during the day they pretend to be a nurse and work for the energy company. And other things. I mean, I'm sure you've got your own stories. So I asked AI, tell me about how paid informants lead a double life. How many stalkers lead a double life, and how do they pretend to be upstanding people? How do they convince people that they're innocent when they're hiding a dark alter ego? So AI knows a little bit more than I do, maybe. Paid informants and stalkers who lead double lives often mask their true intentions behind a facade of normalcy, using manipulation, charm, and deception to hide their darker selves. Here's a breakdown of how it works. Oh, and by the way, we can use this same formula for certain people that head up those intelligence agencies. The ones that actually pay these criminals, through grants and community programs and stuff, and it funnels down through the state, your city, your sheriff's department, fusion centers. Paid informants, whether working with law enforcement or criminal organizations, have a complex existence. They're privy to dangerous situations, yet maintain appearances to blend into everyday society. Yeah, they're like, let's pretend they're actors and actresses. They often compartmentalize their lives. Informants separate their undercover activities from their daily routines, creating distinct personalities for each world. This compartmentalization helps them function without suspicion. Well, they're not doing a very good job. I mean, it's clearly obvious that they don't know what they're doing because they get caught all the time. If they were really doing a great job, you'd never be able to catch these critters, right? They use manipulation and charm. Oh, yeah, that was real charming. Yeah, the stalking is so charming. Many informants are skilled at reading people and situations, allowing them to manipulate conversations and relationships to stay under the radar. They mimic trustworthiness. They excel at building trust with both sides, and those who are informing on and those who are working with, by playing the role of a reliable, non-threatening figure. I don't know about you guys. Can you tell me if your perpetrators are pretending to be reliable and non-threatening figures? Please leave a comment down below. They keep their cover stories airtight. No, not here. Maybe in New Jersey a little bit. No, not here. They rehearse their backstories, and they're careful about what details they share with others to avoid discrepancies that could expose their real identity. Oh, well, that's not happening here. I don't know, guys. I don't know. When the county lawyer is telling the sheriff's department how to do their jobs and falsifying their own FOIA requests, there's something inherently criminal about that. So stalkers who lead double lives, they pretend to be upstanding, innocent individuals while secretly engaging in obsessive and predatory behavior. Their ability to blend in society may be quite disturbing, and they use several tactics to maintain their facade. They present themselves as kind, caring, or normal. No. That's not been happening here. I'm sorry. They are not presenting themselves as kind, caring, or normal. Maybe the first couple of days or a couple of weeks that I lived here, but after that, it all went down the tubes. Many stalkers appear as model citizens and often respected in their communities and workplace. This outward image helps them to deflect suspicion. Manipulating their victims and others. They're skilled at gaslighting, making their victims question their own reality. They might frame their stalking as concern or affection while hiding their malicious intent. Yeah. They're feigning innocence or victimhood. You know, like, oh, you're using your spotlight. You're using your spotlight on my niece, and she came home and she was all crying, upset because you spotlighted her. Yeah, I use a flashlight on my property. If you don't like it, too bad. It's not against the law either. But if you want to play the victim, go right ahead. I'm happy to record and report it. So they feign innocence and victimhood, and when accused, stalkers shift the narrative to make themselves look like the victim, claiming that they're being misunderstood or unfairly targeted. They engage in charismatic behavior. No, I'm sorry. There's no charisma going on here. Many stalkers are socially adept and can be charming, which helps them convince others of their innocence. They may build strong relationships with people who would vouch for their character. Like, my son-in-law is the sheriff, and if you continue to use your spotlight, I have all these friends in the copper department. They'll pay you a visit for using your flashlight on your property. Maintaining a controlled, calm exterior. No, this is not. No, they're not controlled or calm. I mean, look at Neighborhood Wars on A&E. April 11, 2020. There's nothing calm or controlled about that behavior. Despite engaging in dark or obsessive behavior behind the scenes, stalkers are often able to remain calm and collected in public, making it harder for others to suspect them. I'm sorry, guys. My videos show something different than that. How they convince others that they're innocent. Okay, informants and stalkers rely on their ability to create a convincing illusion of innocence. Some of the key factors include their deceptive charm and charisma. I beg to differ. Both types of individuals have a high level of emotion. No. A high level of emotional intelligence, which allows them to manipulate people's perceptions. They know how to act in socially acceptable ways and to use this skill to gain trust. I'm sorry, I beg to differ. There are very few individuals around here that are emotionally intelligent. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. Portraying a moral or righteous image. Yeah, pretending to be a good nurse when you're like, I'm one of those Nazi killing nurses probably, right? And again, this is for informational purposes only. It's my opinion. It's not a fact. It's just my opinion. Many present themselves as being moral or even heroic figures, which makes it hard for people to reconcile their public image with any allegations around them. All you have to do is watch the videos. Targeting and controlling narratives. They control how they're perceived by selectively sharing information, fabricating lies, or distorting the truth. They often discredit anyone who attempts to expose them, framing the accuser as irrational or vengeful. No, I'm not irrational. I'm not vengeful. I'm just speaking the truth. Eddie Marks, if you continue to spread the slanderous lie that I don't pay people and that I'm crazy, why don't we just show them your videos? You know, how you spread poopy toilet paper on my driveway at midnight. You think that's fun? Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Yeah, while you're going to work in the morning, pretending to be an upstanding citizen when you're a piece of crap. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to mention, you know, when I moved here, I had to have some trees taken down along my driveway to get my house, which was supposed to be delivered to the top of the hill there. And then, of course, it was decided that we couldn't deliver it there because nobody would help me take down the mobile home trailer at that time. So who did I hire? I hired Eddie Marks, and he had to take down a whole bunch of trees. And then I hired him maybe a year or so later to take down a tree in my field here. I guess maybe he thinks I didn't pay him the first time, and he decided to come back again for some more non-payment. He's so full of crap. If I didn't pay him the first time, you think he would have come back to take down another tree? Loser. Yeah, keep spreading those lies. Creating strong community ties by ingraining themselves in social circles like the community watch group, workplaces, religious communities. They make it difficult for others to believe that they could be involved in immoral or illegal behavior. Their social network, which is also comprised of everybody else just like them, criminals, often shields them from suspicion. Well, I'm sorry, that's not happening here. You leave too much evidence behind. You implicate yourself too often with your little smirky grins, the narcissist grin. And some of the psychological traits that are involved, there's narcissism, sociopathy. Many people who lead double lives, particularly stalkers, may exhibit traits of narcissism or sociopathy. These traits allow them to manipulate others without guilt or remorse, and they maintain their dual identities with little internal conflict. Then, of course, there's the pathological lying. People leading double lives are often compulsive liars. They can lie effortlessly and convincingly. They tell partial truths or plausible lies that allow them to maintain credibility. Like, the county lawyer telling the sheriff's department that they're still maintaining an investigation as to all the evidence that I provided against Scarlett and Eddie Marks, who should be arrested upon viewing the evidence. Lack of empathy. The ability to lead double life often comes with a diminished capacity for empathy. This allows them to hurt others without feeling the emotional consequences, which enables them to maintain their alternate personas. The psychological depth and duplicity involved make it challenging to expose such individuals, as they often appear to be perfect or good to those unaware of their hidden lies. Well, I don't know about you guys. We're exposing one criminal at a time here in Eastern Kentucky, and that includes the fact that I already reported the sheriff's department and the county lawyer for fabricating incident reports or not providing them or blacking them out. That's against the law. And also, when they're complicit, they're in violation of Title 18, Section 241 and 242, conspiracy against rights under the color of law. And then, of course, thank you, Richard Moore, for telling me about the Brady List. The Brady List is a public reporting where you can report any law enforcement person, a judge, or a lawyer, an attorney. And they're literally, allegedly, more unbiased than if you go and report the stupid-ass lawyers to their own board where they investigate their own selves and find nothing wrong. You don't want to report them to their own agencies. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's like telling a parent, your child did X, Y, and Z, and the parent says, oh, okay, yeah, right. Only good parents discipline their children and model good, upstanding behavior. But when you allow your teenage son to stick their middle finger up at a senior citizen just retrieving their mail while your husband is driving the vehicle, there's something inherently wrong with that. Now, while it may not violate his freedom of speech, it's certainly not acceptable behavior. Anyway, what do you think, guys? If you have children, do you think that it would be wrong for them to stick their middle finger up at somebody who's retrieving their mailbox? Why would somebody do that? And then why would the parent come try to duke it out with you on the county road about your mentioning it? I don't know. There's something wrong here. But no, I don't accept the gaslighting. I'm too old. I've lived too long and dealt with malignant narcissists in the court system, pathological lying, the lack of empathy. I've dealt with it a long time, years and years. I'm not 20 or 30 anymore where I'm just learning this stuff. Okay? So yeah, keep trying to pull the wool over on my eyes. I'm going to keep collecting evidence and expose you guys. Okay? And everybody here should too, because everything, all the lies are being exposed now. Look at the diddler guy. I mean, come on, everybody knew about him forever, and now he's in jail and stuff. And of course, he'll disappear just like that Epstein piece of crap. But yeah, and we already know that my favorite Bureau of Instigation pays. I did a video on this. Pays informants to commit crime. They pay informants. They call them human resources. They don't call them informants anymore. They're called human resources. So they pay their human resources hundreds of thousands of dollars every year to not only stalk and harass people, innocent people, for profit, but to plant evidence that doesn't exist, to frame people, set people up, and literally commit crimes. They've admitted to this. It's in writing. And their own whistleblowers came forward. You know, the whistleblowers, like they call themselves the suspendables, because they have been suspended. They haven't been fired. You know, if they're fired, then, you know, they no longer have a reign on them. But so they're indefinitely suspended, which means that they're suspended. They're not receiving their income or their pensions and stuff like that. But they have come forward and stated that they were asked to deliberately stalk people that were innocent. And then they refused. They got suspended. But anyway, we all know who they are, right? There's Stephen Friend, and then there's Kyle Seraphin. I mean, come on, with a last name like Seraphin, you know, an angelic name like that, you know, these two Christian men. They're not going to go against what God wants them to do. They're going to do what they inherently know is moral and just. And that's why they don't work for the FBI anymore. They've got their own channels. They're probably doing a lot better now by speaking the truth. And we appreciate it. So anyway, I'm going to get off my rant about how informants lead a double life. I know they pretend to be upstanding people in the community. They convince local people that they're innocent when they're doing dirty nonsense on my property every night. I hear them at 4 o'clock in the morning. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. Please remember to hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel grow, get the message out there. And feel free to share it. Anything that I post, you can share. I'm going to sign off for now.